Shalom. Call La Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, to the Akim doing the work in truth and sincerity, as well as the few Akwat that listen and learn. This is Brother Shawar with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And this lesson, I just want to get into this book. I was meditating on it, and the Elder Malcolm brings this out all the time that, the so-called race of black people, is not a real race. Black and white, particularly white, was invented in 1681. Right, the Edomites, that's their real nationality. These so-called white people are the Edomites. That's their biblical nationality. They come from a man, Esau, or the man Esau. And the Israelites, who the so-called black people are a part of, as well as the Negros, Salakia, as well as the Latinos and Native Americans, we come from Jacob. We are the 12 tribes of Israel. And not only is black, so-called black is a false nationality. These other bywords and proverbs that were put on us, these these nationalities like Cuban and Dominican and Mexican and Haitian and Jamaican, Native American, so on and so forth. These are, false nationalities that have been put on us by our oppressors. These have other meanings, that don't go back to who we truly are. We're Hebrew Israelites, and we have a heritage, we have a nationality, and we have tribes. To break down our nationality even further, to categorize our nationality even further, you could say. And it's all written in the scriptures. But this is the truth is hidden in plain sight. So the elect is going to get it in these times, but most people aren't going to get it, and that's just the facts of the matter. But I want to get into this book, and this book is called let me see real quick, the Birth of a White Nation, and this is a PDF I found on Google, and I think the website that posted it is I'll put the link in the description, but it's inside I think it's San Francisco University High School.org. But the main source is the book. And the book is written by her name is Jacqueline. I think it's Ballarada. Let me see, it's right here. So Jacqueline or Badalora, right? And this is just for educational purposes. And the main point I want to get is just on the second page of the first chapter, right? And then you can, there's a lot of information in this book. I haven't read the whole book. I only, read through the first couple pages of this chapter and certain other pages. But there's a lot of information just dealing with, these so-called Europeans, these Edomites, and their plans and their endeavors with so-called African slaves, which are the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel, in the 1600s and so forth. So there's a lot of good information in here, but I want to just extrapolate this point about, the so-called white race, right? And this is what they hide behind, to hide who they are. All the Edomites have done is every time they conquer a land, they just call it by their own name. That's a matter of fact. Let's get a precept on that quick. So I don't know why it does this. Psalms 49:11, and it reads, "Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." And this is what Esau, Edom does. Every time they conquer a land, they just call the land by their own name, right? And that's exactly what they've done, till this day. So let's read this, and then we'll get a few scriptures and then close it out. So this is the first page of chapter 1, and it reads: prior to the label white, people were referred or were referenced by a number of possibilities, including national origin, such as Spanish, British, or Brazilian, or by religion, such as Jew, Christian, or Muslim. There were other possibilities as well, such as one's status as servant or free, owning class or servant class. However, whites or white people was not one of them. It should also be noted that white, designating a group conceived of as united by race, was an invention upon the invention. In other words, at the time white people were invented, they were not seen as a race. This occurred later and will be discussed in the next chapter, right? So again, this is something created. And she goes on to write about certain reasons why they implemented this, talking about the Bacon's Rebellion and other things that probably played a role in it. But knowing Esau, Edom, when you get into the prophecies and you understand the nature of this devil, of the so-called white man, and you understand that he's our enemy, our natural born enemy as Israelites, you start to think about their agenda. You start to realize how they operate and how they think and what they're trying to accomplish. These elites, the elite banking families who have been, they're the ones who've been running the world, for some time now. They're really the ones who's in power. But when you understand their agenda, you understand that this is really to control the narrative and to pretty much forward the Edomite supremacy, right? And to run away from their biblical nationality. That's a big reason on why they implemented this, right? So let's read on, and this is the point I wanted to get. So it reads: the label white, reflecting a group of humanity, appears nowhere in law until 1681. Also black. She didn't really, I didn't see her go into that yet, but I know that's also where this being called so-called black came from, around this time. And again, we're reading the curses that we've been given many proverbs and bywords and proverbs put on us, because we were discontinued from our heritage, according to Jeremiah 17:4. Right, but this is directly connected to that. So let's keep reading. It first appears in an enchantment passed by the Colonial Assembly of the colony of Maryland. The question is why? Who were white people prior to the invention? They were Edomites. They're Edomites, man. The nation of Edom, so-called white people who are really red. When you go to Genesis and you read when Esau was born, it says he came out red all over like an hairy garment because their blood shows forth through their skin. They lack pigment. They have the curse of Cain on them. And Esau is a, he's a descendant, a reincarnation of Cain. The seed of the wicked, man. That's who they are. And their works prove it. The things that they have done, in history, prove that they're the wicked to this day. And anybody who denies that is just simply in denial and doesn't want to face facts, because even, these other nations, everybody's starting to see that the problem is the Edomite, is the so-called white man, particularly those that are in power. So let's just finish this little paragraph. It says, what did it mean when they became white? What was the problem that lawmakers sought to address, though the imposition of this new category of humanity? So again, man, and through biblical prophecy, through the spirit, the Rakak Wadash, we can figure out, or we know why this devil would do that, to control the narrative, to exalt himself above all people, and ultimately to keep the Israelites docile on who they are. Because also, like I said, us being called black came about in this time too. And I didn't read this whole thing. I read some of it, but it didn't, I didn't see her go into that, but I know this is when it came about as well. right? But I'll put this in the description, and maybe I'll read it later. But nonetheless, you get the point, right? So let's get a few scriptures, and the first scripture I wanted to get was in Deuteronomy 28. Because this is directly, this is connected to the curses, right? Because we're not black and we're not these things. They're not white. This is all the curses that are put on us, man. And this is their way of them, destroying our heritage, destroying our connection to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And now you look at today, you look at black culture today, and it's just, all it is just self-destruction, right? Even the other cultures in the Northern Kingdom are somewhat better, but nonetheless, it's all self-destruction. And we've all been led astray because most of our people are following these so-called white people. Right, that's who they're following. Most of the Israelites have Stockholm syndrome, and they don't realize it, man. They're just following this devil Esau, Edom, and everything that he's taught us. And he's only given us things to destroy ourselves, because he's our natural born enemy, and this is what they don't understand. But the prophets are here, starting with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and going back to their elders. But the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is here. The Spirit of the Lord is back to call out through the prophets and to bring back, the remnant of our people who are going to get it, the elect. Because now's the time when the Lord is turning the tides and he's coming to establish the kingdom of heaven. So things are about to change drastically, man. Of course, you see all these prophecies, these major prophecies playing out. World War III, the digital currency, the CBDC is being set up before our eyes, leading to the MOTB, Revelation 13 and 16. These are all end-time prophecies that are talked about right before the Lord's return. And the destruction of Babylon the Great, this wicked infrastructure, which is America, and the powers that be. Not them themselves, because they're going to have to go into slavery, but this infrastructure and the deliverance of the elect, the remnant. Right? But the point being, so I'm kind of, just summarizing everything, I guess. But the point being, this being black was a big part of, us pretty much being destroyed as a people, because it's a negative label that's put on us, and it's only been negative towards us, man. It hasn't helped us with anything being black. So those that are stuck on that being black demon, the Lord is going to destroy them, point blank, period. So this is Deuteronomy 28, and we'll start at let's see. We'll start at 36, and it reads, "The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone." And that's over here to the Americas, right? Verse 37, and this is the point. "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee." So to all nations of the world, we're just black people. The Southern Kingdom is just black people. The Northern Kingdom is, they're wetbacks or whatever. Savages, and to get specific, they'll even say things like African American, which makes no sense because those are names of two men, Africa and America, two Edomite men. And then the other names, they all have, like I said earlier, they have other meanings that were put on us by our oppressors, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Argentinian, Guatemala, all these bywords and proverbs, this is not who we are. But this is a part of the curses, because why? Jeremiah 17 and 4. Let's just get it real quick, seeing how I quoted it a couple times. Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever, meaning a very long time. So because of our wickedness and transgressions to the Lord, under the first covenant, the Lord put us under curses, and we've been under them since. Right? And really, we haven't seen peace and sovereignty since the time of King Solomon. Right? So this is what happened, man. That's why this happened, is because of our wickedness. But now is the time we're being brought back. And I wanted to get Baruch 2 and 3, so let me see. There we go. Romans 9. So let's get 2 more scriptures and then close it out. Because again, we're being brought back right now as we speak, man. Israelites are waking up. The elect is being gathered, and through the Spirit, I believe the elect is sealed, man. But Yahweh Ratazal, we're those of us who are sincere are a part of that number. We're just being built up. So let's get this Romans 9 and 26, and it reads, and it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power, right? So all this time, man, we've been called black, we've been called Mexican, Puerto Rican, all these other things, told that the people of the Lord are, those gutter rats, those imposters over there in the Holy Land, which are Edomites, Amalek to be exact, a tribe of Esau, Edom, right? We've been told that we're just, that we're not that. But in that same place, man, in the land of our captivity, that's where we're also going to be told that we are the children of the Lord. And that's exactly what's been happening. Right? And if you can't see, then the Lord hasn't opened your eyes to see it. But there's been a mass awakening of so-called Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans coming back to the fact that they are Israelites. And this is biblical prophecy, man. This is how these scriptures are real. This is living waters, as the scriptures say. This is a living document. And it's also how we're in the last days. Right? And it's also, let's get this verse 27. Esaias also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. So we're the biggest nation, man, as the sand of the sea. But only a remnant of Israel is going to return in these times. The elect. 1/3 to be exact, pursuant to Zechariah 13 and 8. Like I said earlier, not everybody, most people are, they're not going to get it and understand, because this is a divine thing. The Lord has to be dealing with you for you to be, for you to understand this and to come into the fold and to actually serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. The Lord got to be dealing with you. He has to put the Spirit on you, that spirit of faith on you. Right? It's really, this is preordained, to be honest. So it's all through the Spirit of the Lord. So let's get this and we'll close out. And Lord willing, this was edifying. So this is Baruch 2 and 30. It reads, for I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. Jake, the Israelites are a very stubborn people, man. They don't want to repent. They don't want to turn from their idols. They don't want to return from their folly and their wickedness. They're pretty much comfortable in their captivity, right? Most of our people are just comfortable being slaves, man, because that's what we are. We're still slaves. It's just a different form of slavery. They're just comfortable with it, right? That's how the Israelites think. Most people in the world, but especially the Israelites. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, that remnant, and shall know that I am the Lord their God, for I will give them an heart and ears to hear, the elect, right? And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sinned before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with an oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, dealing with that seed line. The Israelites come from that seed line and that seed line only. So again, that's how you know the Lord is only dealing with the Israelites. And they shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. So this is what's coming, man. So again, you know, this information is connected to us, you know, directly connected to our captivity. Because this was the time where we were, you know, this black thing started and this white thing started, right? And Esau used us, he pretty much used us to gain more power and control the narrative and to further, like I said, further destroy us and keep us away from our heritage, right? So I'll put this in the description box. So, you know, those who want to read it can read it, but it's a good information here, like I said. But again, I just wanted to extrapolate that one point. But yeah, Lord willing, this was edifying and uplifting, and it did what it was supposed to do to the elect. So I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, Kwam, Yasharala, and a Bible Ball.